Rolls-Royce pull up, black boy hop out.
I was riding in the ghost with a ghost gun, seen you out.
I just don't rope and no rolls. I just came up in no rave.
Rappers love to mention Rolls-Royce.
According to Bloomberg, from 2014 to 2017, the top 20 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 mention Rolls-Royce more times than any brand, including other luxury car companies like Porsche, Lamborghini, and Ferrari. So, what makes Rolls-Royce so special? And how did it become so popular in rap? The obvious answer is that it's luxurious. Just look at customization options like the Starlight headliner, bespoke audio system, and champagne cooler, and it'll become clear why the price of a Rolls-Royce can fluctuate from $300K to nearly $500,000. But there's something more here that isn't superficial. I listen to hip-hop every day, so I started writing down every time I heard Rolls-Royce mentioned in rap lyrics. And it turns out Rolls-Royce is everywhere.
Rolls-Royce.
The Phantom.
He's in the Rolls-Royce. Got a rag top roll.
But what I found most surprising was that mentions went back further than the 90s, and even the 80s. Released in 1979, Rapper's Delight is arguably the first commercially successful hip-hop record. But that's not the only important thing about that year. 1979 also marks what is most likely the first ever mention of Rolls-Royce in hip-hop history. It's on the track Super Rappin' by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Around 79, many hustlers drove Cadillacs. So the Cadillac was the premier car. The Mercedes-Benz was like, yo, you on some other level driving the Benz.
That's Mark Skills, a hip-hop writer and historian who has interviewed many of the genre's pioneers and has documented the origins of hip-hop for the past 18 years.
I've done my own research, okay? And I can't think of anyone that was driving a Rolls-Royce. It was not a common car on the street. Mentioning Rolls-Royce in an early record like this was like untouchable luxury.
In the late 70s, the only people you'd see driving Rolls-Royces were aristocratic elites. Take Queen Elizabeth, who was often chauffeured in a Phantom 4, a luxury vehicle that was exclusively built for the British royal family and heads of state. So, even before the birth of hip-hop in the 70s, Rolls-Royce had a reputation as a status symbol. So, why did Rolls-Royce start being mentioned in the earliest days of rap? To understand its inclusion in lyrics, we have to break down why status symbols became so prevalent in rap music.
The streets influenced hip-hop. It wasn't, nowadays, people think of it as the other way around. No, the streets influenced the artists.
Before the 80s, wealthy crime bosses and flashy preachers introduced the Bronx to status symbols like tailor-made suits, jewelry, and of course, luxury cars. In the early 80s, hip-hop became profitable due to hits from artists like the Sugar Hill Gang, Curtis Blow, and Run DMC. In the mid to late 80s, rappers started to sign record deals, and there was only one thing to do with all the extra cash. Rappers started to emulate the larger-than-life figures they saw in their communities, shifting rap into the braggadocious genre we know today. But one duo in particular took things to a whole new level. In 1988, Eric B. and Rakim were among the first to elevate their rap personas by posing next to Rolls-Royces. The luxurious car was featured on the cover of their second studio album, Follow the Leader.
Eric B. said he got the Rolls-Royce because everybody else was buying Mercedes-Benz and Jeeps. And Eric was like, no, I want to separate myself from everyone else. So he bought the Rolls-Royce.
A lot of these rappers, they come from the streets, they come from nothing. You want to attain nice things wherever you are and whatever you're doing in life. So that Rolls-Royce is definitely like that top tier, I made it here car.
The two posing with a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow marked the success of not only the duo, but rap as a genre. Speaking of the success of rap, let's flash forward to 1997.
Diddy and Mace were at the top of the Billboard charts. During that year, they each had 4 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, the most top 10s of any artist that year. One of those hits, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, peaked at number 1 on the list and spent 16 weeks in the top 10.
And as Diddy struck mainstream success, he celebrated it all in, you guessed it, a white Rolls-Royce.
Push us, cause we're close to the edge.
In the iconic music video, Diddy and Maze walk away from a white Rolls-Royce Corniche in slow motion. The imagery of the $156,000 vehicle exploding behind them proved that the cost was nothing for a rapper as big as Puff.
In the 90s, they're starting to take on these personas of people that have a lot of money, a lot of power, and a lot of influence. And with those things, you have to have the accessories to go along with that status. If I'm a king and I'm a queen, then this is my chariot.
And it seems that 97 may have been responsible for the spike of Rolls-Royce mentions in subsequent years.
Out of the 7 rap songs that mentioned Rolls-Royce that year, 5 were on the Billboard Weekly Singles charts, or were on albums that had Billboard chart success.
Nothing shows the effect of this influence more than Cash Money rap group The Big Timers, who came out of the South in the early 2000s with a very different spin on luxury.
I think the most iconic lyric that I ever remember from the Big Timers and Rolls-Royce is definitely the #1 Stunner video.
Come on, you know how slow the new Rolls-Royce be.
What Wayne is talking about is, I have the Rolls, and you know how slow they be, so I'm gonna get seen in this.
So when you usually picture somebody that has these type of cars, you'd see them suited up with a driver, a chauffeur, exiting them out. But when you saw people like Manny Fresh and Baby and Lil Wayne and Juvenile, these guys were just wearing baseball caps and white tees and actually driving them. They were breaking molds and stereotypes of what you can do with these cars.
They wanted to still retain the street flavor and be in luxury. Because if you remember, Diddy in the white suits, and Mace was in suits. But the Southern players, they were like, no, we're going to take this luxury as we are.
And as trap has emerged from the South and taken over the charts, Rolls-Royce has accompanied that ride.
Just listen to the chart-topping Migos track, Bad and Bougie, and you'll hear Offset mention,
Pull up and goes. Yeah, my diamonds are choke.
I tabulated at least 338 studio-released hip-hop songs
From 1979 to 2017 that mention Rolls-Royce or its other popular models.
Of course, this isn't an exact figure, but it shows just how ubiquitous Rolls-Royce has become in rap music.
People want the best of the best, man. Rolls-Royce is that. They only make so many per year. It's a handcrafted vehicle. It's from overseas. It's like all the different checkpoints and then the price point.
But these excessive price points pale in comparison to the new Rolls-Royce Boattail, which in May of 2021 broke the record for the most expensive new street-legal car ever at $28 million. And its creation may be hip-hop related.
The fact that they're like not just hip hop and R&B royalty, but American royalty starting to become now. The Boattail, that's when you know that you're uber rich, when people are like, well, we know they got it. I think Rolls-Royce became the signifier of success, especially in hip hop, because it wasn't easily obtainable.
And the brand has played into this idea. I reached out to a Rolls-Royce representative to ask why they think the luxury brand is so influential in hip-hop.
Rolls-Royce is known for being the best. The one thing that every Rolls-Royce patron has in common is success. It's not an item that you need. No one needs a Rolls-Royce motor car. It's something that everyone wants.
Word spread through the street, and it became the ultimate symbol of luxury and affluence. And it's held its status ever since. And it's not going anywhere.
Benz rhymes with so many things. Friends, Lens, Benz again, but don't get it twisted. Rolls-Royce is still the one that everyone loves to mention. Like, that's the one.